Now for unit 2, we have this one thing, that is attributes of law and legal process. Now we have already studied these functions of law and things like that. Okay, this is somewhat related to it. Attributes basically mean like features, okay, features of law or attributes of law. So what are the attributes of law and legal process? First of all, it is equal application of laws. If there is a law, it will be equally applicable to all the people who are living in that jurisdiction. If a law is applicable in India, same law will be similarly applicable to all the people living in India. That is equal application of the laws.
Okay.
Binding force. Laws will be binding on us. It will even provide for the consequences. If we are not following the law, what will happen? All right. So in order to ensure this binding nature, right, law will also provide for the punishment or the sanction. What will happen if we are not following the law? That also will usually be mentioned in the law. So it will have a binding force on the people to whom it applies. Then precedents are binding. In India, apart from the laws which are passed by parliament or state legislature, even judicial decisions or precedent, decisions given by High Court or Supreme Court are also having binding nature. So when we talk about laws, it also would include the precedents, the guidelines laid down in certain landmark decisions. Those are also binding on us, just like how a law is binding. Okay, so we need to obey those obligations as well. So in case there is like absence of a legislation on certain matter, might be guidelines will still be applicable. Like we have something called as Witness Protection Scheme 2018. That is not a law, but that scheme was approved by the judiciary in a given decision. But we accept it, it is binding on us. The guidelines laid down in DK Basu case, those are still followed. Why? Because precedents are binding in India. Then regulates different aspects. We have different laws or different legislations to talk about different like areas. Okay, like we have a law related to income tax, we have bunch of laws related to protection of environment, we have bunch of laws to provide us protection from the crimes that may be committed against us. Like that, there are different laws to regulate different aspects of our life as well. And these laws might be passed by the parliament, or some laws might be passed by the state legislature as well, if it is falling under the state list. Next is that legal process is dynamic. Whatever laws are laid down, whatever process is set, it's not like once something is established, it will apply for like years and years to come. Law is bound to undergo changes because of changes taking place in the society. Like if we take the example of Consumer Protection Act. Consumer Protection Act. This act was previously not covering e-commerce.
Yeah.
But now, because e-commerce is being so popular and people are also suffering while buying things online, right? They might not be happy with the service or the goods. So now Consumer Protection Act also covers e-commerce. That means it is a change that this legislation, Consumer Protection Act, has undergone. That indicates law is dynamic. It has to change with changing time of the society.
Okay. Like online education also now.
Yes. Yeah.
Education Act will cover that one.
Yes, education also is something which you can mention, right? So whatever new things are coming, for that, law also has to
Law
undergo
has to change.
changes. Yeah, during COVID, there were certain guidelines being mentioned by Supreme Court that has to be followed for online hearing. So even though there was nationwide lockdown, it cannot happen that courts are also shut down for like years altogether. So online
Hmm.
hearing had to be accepted. Those are again examples of this.
Okay.
Consequences on breach. So as I said, it will not make much sense that simply it is said that okay, don't kill people, don't do this, don't do that. It is a scene, right? Nowadays people would not be that much religious, right? Whatever they want to do, they would do. But how will laws be followed by people? It is only when we provide for consequences, only when punishment is being provided. That is also one of the reasons why you can say for certain crimes, like do you know that suicide, like attempt to suicide, is also a crime in India?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay, so what is the punishment for that?
Attempt to suicide, I don't know the punishment. I think it is on based on the situation, they will decide the maximum punishment. I don't know how much it will be, because some how the person come to decide to commit suicide on humanitarian base also it will consider. I don't know. I think it will be case to case different.
Okay, yeah. So attempt to suicide, if the person dies, if it is successful attempt, then definitely we cannot do anything about it. But what if this attempt was unsuccessful? So for unsuccessful attempt, provision is mentioned under Indian Penal Code. Okay, so under Indian Penal Code, attempt to commit suicide is a punishable offense. Previously, it was like whatever is the situation, person would get punishment. Okay, for a term which may extend up to 1 year or with fine or with both. But then it
Okay.
was argued in too many cases that when will a person commit suicide? Only when he is like super depressed, he is not having any other alternative options, right? That means the person is already mentally in a very bad condition. On top of that,
Exactly.
his attempt was unsuccessful. On top of that, if you are punishing, you are not doing any good for that person. Okay, so it was
Definitely.
considered that it does not make sense to punish a person who attempted suicide and he was unsuccessful, but rather we should provide counseling to that person. We should help that person to like come back from that bad stage of his life and start his life again. So
Yes.
like you said, it depends like case to case. Whenever it is a matter of attempt to suicide, court would see what was the reason of suicide. Was it like he was like the person was suffering? Was it like his own problems for which the person tried attempted suicide? If yes, the person would not be given punishment, rather counseling will be provided so that the person can again like come to a better stage of mind. But if it was like a random attempt, okay, nothing is happening bad in your life, you just attempted, like Irom Sharmila, are you aware of her?
Om Sharmila, yeah, I heard, but
Actually, there is one law called Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Okay, that is like a very bad law. That law is applicable in Manipur, and she is like protesting that this law should be removed. For that, she went for hunger strike for like years altogether, 16 years old fast. Okay, for 16 years, she was not eating anything. So she was like, I will die. Okay, in this hunger strike, I will die until and unless this law is not removed. Now, the question was, what is this law doing? This law is not doing any bad to you as such. It is bad for the entire society. Okay, so that means you do not have sufficient grounds to attempt suicide. So she was arrested multiple times. She was kept in prison. Also, punishment was also given. Why? Because she was not having a valid ground to attempt suicide. As such, she was not having any problem in her life. It was like a common problem, like any other people in Manipur are having. Okay, so that is why she was given this punishment under Section 309. But if someone is suffering in real, that person would not be given punishment, but rather that person would be given counseling. So it is consequences of breach. Okay, what will happen in case we violate it? That again, like different provisions may be applicable, and law will, like, try to provide the best possible consequence which is needed, right, to ensure that people are not committing the crimes.
Okay.
Plus, it will also provide for dispute settlement mechanism. It's not enough that simply it says, okay, this is crime, this is wrong, this is right. No, we need proper mechanism also how we can settle the dispute. Like if you take the example of Motor Vehicles Act, if some accident takes place and people want to claim for compensation, there is actually a body established, Motor Accidents Claim Tribunal. They are looking into those matters only. We can approach that. There is one special body established for human rights, protection of human rights, National Human Rights Commission. There is one body for income tax matters, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Like that, for certain specified areas, specific bodies are also established, like National Green Tribunals for environment-related matters. Okay, so there are plenty of tribunals, boards, commissions, which are being set up to deal specifically with matters under their purview. All right. That again is like a feature that law is not just talking about rights and obligations, but it also provides for dispute settlement mechanism in certain situations. Law tries to bring orderly change in society. Whatever changes are needed, those also it will try. Like previously, it was not necessary to avoid, avoid groups of people coming together, assembly of people. It was not necessary to avoid that. It was not necessary to wear a mask, but it became necessary during COVID. So to bring orderly change in society, whatever is needed now, that for that a law will be introduced to ensure it is followed by people. Okay, so law will always try to bring the changes which we want. Like previously there were practices like sati, which is being removed with the help of a law. We are still fighting with issues like dowry. Then there are these proposed things that a marriageable age of girls will be increased from 18 to 21 years, so that girls are also getting education. Those are nothing but bringing orderly changes in society. Based on the present time, whatever is needed to bring those changes, we again take the help of law. That also is sort of a feature of law. And last but not the least, law guides the judges. When judges need to take a decision on a certain matter, they will take the help of law and they will be guided by those provisions, and they will give a decision, like the best possible decision in that given situation. So that these are like the essence or features of law that we can say in a broad way. Is this part clear?
Yeah, this is same like functions of law,
Yeah.
almost similar.
Yeah,
right?
Similar. Functions of law, why is law necessary, essence of law, these are similar things only, from where just little bit they have changed the question.
Yeah, most of the points are similar to the functions of law. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Just the like framing of statement and things, little bit you can change, otherwise it's the same thing only.
Same thing. Okay. Okay, it's clear.
Yeah. All right. So from unit 1 is done. Unit 2, this one part is remaining. Do you want it to be done today or next?
It's fine if you can, if you have time, it's okay. I can.
Okay, so this concept is law as social engineering. This also is a theory, like I said, this one, right? Ideas of law. Different people have given different theories. This also is a theory which is given by Roscoe Pound. Okay, he says law as social engineering. Now, Roscoe Pound was an American jurist, botanist, educator, and chief advocate of sociological jurisprudence. The concept or the theories which he have given, it is called a sociological jurisprudence because he mainly focused on the society. Okay, his theory is mainly focused on the society, and based on that, he has developed his theory. Now, he was a leader in the reform of court and administration in the United States, and he gave his theory of interest, which is described as law of social engineering. Law as social engineering is also called as theory of interest. Okay, interest as in, like I said, right, we have our own interests, likes, dislikes, like that only. So he mainly said that, okay, fine, in a society, there will be a lot of people who will live together. Okay, so and human wants are always increasing, whether then or now. There are a lot of people living in a society. Plus, every people will have a lot of wants. Okay, it's not like something that they need. Okay, need and want is like different thing. Need is like food, clothing, shelter, education, and things like that, which you need. Want is like other things that you need, right? Maybe like to make your life comfortable and stuff. So he says that human wants are increasing. There is no limit to that, whether then or now it will be increasing. The necessity of balancing the human wants and welfare of the society has been realized. For welfare of the society, for people to live together harmoniously, it is very important that there is a balance among these human wants or needs that we have. Every human want cannot be fulfilled because already there are so many people living in the society. Everyone is having their different wants. Like I said, someone might want to party at night, someone may want to study peacefully at night. It's not possible to satisfy want of both of these two persons. What can we do? We can try to balance these things out for welfare of the society. Otherwise, people cannot live peacefully. So that is very much needed. So he said it is definitely not like, it is not possible to fulfill want and desire of every people. These wants and desires are termed as interest. Okay, the interest that we have. That is why it is called as the interest theory or law as social engineering. Now, what is this theory of social engineering all about? Social engineering is called as engineering because Roscoe Pound compared the work of lawyers to engineers. Actually, the work of engineers is to produce finished products into the society, which is based on continuous experimentation and experience. In the same way, aim of social engineering is to build up society by satisfying maximum wants with minimum usage of resources. It involves balancing of competing interests. Just like how an engineer will develop like a finished product that will be very much useful for us. Like if someone is designing a vehicle or some other product a person is making, a lot of experimentation will go on. What is working out, what is not working out. After a lot of efforts, after a lot of balancing, finally a final product would be given. Same ways, lawyers also do the same thing. What they do is they try to balance out these interests. Okay, in a society, it is very much important that we realize all these human wants And then out of all these, we decide what all can be satisfied. Okay, we try to balance it out so that there is less conflict and people are able to live peacefully. And this balancing job is as difficult as the job performed by an engineer. And because this engineering is applied in a society, it is called as social engineering. Okay, the theory of social engineering or the theory of interest. This is clear, right? Why it is theory of interest and social engineering?
Yes, yes.
So the first word, social, which means a group of people forming a society. The second word states that engineers, to produce a finished goods based on continuous experimentation to get the finished product, means the instrument or device. He classified interest in three groups. So society, because it is with relation to society, a group of people, it is called as social. And because it is just like the job of engineers, it is called as engineering. Now, this theory is purely based on interest, and these interests are classified in three groups: private interest, public interest, and social interest. Private interest as in I want something. Okay, these interests might be purely based on my thing, like I want to listen to loud music at night. Public interest as in for the public it is good, might be public education. There might be some social interest which is good for the society, like vaccination, right? So we have a lot of different interests, and these interests might be conflicting. My private interest might be conflicting with the public interest.
Conflicting with the other. Yes.
Right? Or I might feel that, okay, fine, I don't have trust on vaccination, or I'm too afraid of needles, so I don't want to get vaccinated. That is my private interest. But that is conflicting with social interest, because if I'm not getting vaccinated, might be I will be spreading the disease further. Right? In that case, it is conflicting. Right? So same ways, there will be plenty of examples where these interests are conflicting with one another. And the purpose of this theory is that we need to balance out all these things. There cannot be an excuse that I'm afraid of vaccine, I'm afraid of needles, or I don't have trust on vaccination. It may be made compulsory that if you are living in India, you need to take vaccination. In that case, I don't have any other option. I will have to take. Okay, and same if other countries also do, I cannot go to any other country also. Right? So where would I go if I cannot live in Earth? I will have to take vaccination. So that is what this theory is all about. Try to balance out this interest, because these will be conflicting with one another, because there are so many different interests which we have.
Okay.
So the main of social engineering is to build as efficient a structure of society as possible, which requires the satisfaction of maximum wants with minimum friction and waste. That means the aim of social engineering is to build efficient structure of the society. So law has to think about proper well-being of the society, like vaccination is needed in order to reduce the spread of COVID-19. In such cases, no one is going to entertain my private interest, my private want. Okay, so it requires satisfaction of maximum want. Again, it will think about maximum good. It will think about public health, welfare of this entire country, and ignore my private interest. Why? With minimum friction, less number of conflict, and more number of satisfaction. That is what the concept is. This statement is very important. Maximum satisfaction of maximum want with minimum friction. And this can be done only with the help of balancing. And this balancing is as difficult as the job of engineers. That is what this theory is all about.
Okay, this is the keyword. Huh?
Yeah, this is the keyword basically.
Okay.
This also, balancing of competing interests. Okay, and how can we balance, or how can we say that we have properly balanced? Only when we are able to satisfy maximum wants with minimum friction. Okay, and in conclusion, you can write that law plays a vital role in the society. Like, conclusions are like very generalized. You can write in your own ways also. Just that this theory you should understand. After that, you will be able to write. So you can say that law plays a very important role in adjusting conflict of interest. Both social and individual interests coexist. It cannot be that, okay, we don't have any social interest. They will coexist in a society. Both of them have the same equal priority. So Roscoe Pound has given the idea of social engineering. He was from America, so he gave his idea based on American society. But this concept is so, like it is applicable in other countries as well, because the formation of society is like similar only, right? So even if it was based on American society, this theory applies in other societies also perfectly. Even in India also, it is followed it for forming a social welfare. India is a welfare state. We think about maximum happiness of maximum people. Here also this theory applies properly. Both judiciary and legislative have played important role in making the fulfillment of various desires of human being. So for the new for these new policies, new strategies were applied and have been developed. So judiciary and legislature, they have constantly tried that whatever laws are passed, those should not be conflicting with interest. Like this farm bill, it should not be conflicting, right? Interest of all these farmers versus interest of the government, right? There were conflicting. Now we want to provide or satisfy maximum want with minimum friction. But in case of that law, what was happening? There was maximum friction and minimum satisfaction. Only government was happy, right? So that means this is not a proper way. We need to balance it out. That is why they said that, okay, fine, we are taking it back. That again is nothing but social engineering. Even though this was developed in America, we have seen the example being applied in India only, right? So this is how the theory is all about. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, fine. Then so I'll share this documents. You can just, like these highlights.
Yeah, with the